Bigger picture. If you sound exactly the same as everybody else in the market and you just want to be able to show the value, get the respect that you deserve, building a brand for your startup is 100% the way forward. Welcome to episode 4 of the Starter Series, and today we are going to be talking all about how you as a startup can better understand your brand. So let's kick into it. Generally speaking, when we're building businesses, we look at what we do, how we do it, and who we do it for. Every single business does this, and you'll find in your industry there'll be a million different people that are all saying the same thing, they're all doing the same thing, they all look the same. How do you compete with that? More importantly, how do your customers know to choose you? If you look the same, sound the same, if everyone in your industry is in the same boat, what do they do to pick? I'll let you into a little secret, but I think you already know it. They choose cost. They'll pick the lowest cost and be like, hey, if everyone's doing the same, these are the guys I'm going to go with because they're the cheapest, right? So building a brand for your startup gets you out of that price battle. It gets you being able to articulate your service and your value. It gets your customers being able to respect your process and be able to relate to the bigger picture, what you're out to achieve. They get a better understanding, so when the dollar sign is a little bit more than the competitors, they're already behind what you do and they don't mind spending that little bit more. I mean, think about the brands that you don't mind spending a little bit more on and try and figure out why that is. So let's kick into it. We've got 5 ways for you guys to better understand what a brand or what your brand is all about. So the first thing we want to look at is knowing your business. It's understanding where your business is right now and where you want it to be in the future. It's understanding what you sell, who you sell it to. It's understanding how you're going to grow. It's understanding everything that your business needs for you to have direction. So we've created a little table that'll come up around about now. And this table is all about how you focus on the now, 6 months time, and 12 months time. And in this table across the top, we've got those time frames so you guys can set milestones about where you want to be from a growth point of view or from a customer count point of view. And then down the left hand side of the table, we have things like main focus, we have number of customers, we have headcount, we have product and services, and we've got the all-important revenue. And the revenue is super important because you can re-engineer from revenue to dictate how many sales you need to make, how many customers you need to bring through the door per month. It works on things like how many employees do you need? So 4 employees for every 20 sales, for argument's sake. So you can kind of figure out how you're going to grow and break it down into incremental stages. And speaking of incremental stages, 2 things I really want you to focus on once you've completed that table are, 1 is 90-day goals. So if you think about setting a goal for 6 months time, it can be very overwhelming. I can almost guarantee there's going to be a heap of moving parts in there. But the simple fact of the matter is, you need to make sure that you have 90-day plans set up. This means that you can break those big goals down, small steps, big goals. Just remember that. Then we move into sharing. Sharing is caring for most of the world. However, today, sharing is holding you accountable for the growth of your business. So once you've got that table filled out, once you know exactly where you want to be, once you've worked out what your 90-day goals are, make sure you have either a friend, family member, business coach, business partner, external services, anyone that you can bounce that plan off and they can hold you accountable. So number 2 is, what do you stand for? What does your business, what does your brand stand for? And this is, it's super important, because one of the main things about building something that people can stand for, people get behind it. People are encouraged to get behind it and move forward, and they become brand ambassadors. So really think about what you stand for. We break it down into 4 categories. So we have purpose, people, culture, and experience. If we look at the purpose side of things, it's what you want to do with your business, or what your purpose is in this world, which leads us into the people. Having the right people is huge. The right people, the right characteristics, the right drive, so you can work together to achieve your purpose. So these people can be staff members, they can be, again, business coaches, business mentors, or they could be friends and family. But it's having those people to help you move forward. The next thing I want to touch on is brand culture. So this is huge. Think about your perfect week in work. Think about the perfect week for your staff. Think about the perfect job that you ever had. What you want to do when you develop a brand culture is you want to focus on retaining the people that you have working with you, and you also want to make sure that your customers are infected by the same brand culture that you instill to your business every single day. And the next thing, probably one of the most important, because this is the stuff that people talk about, and that is the experience that you give to your customers. It's insanely huge for your startup business to provide the best possible customer experience you can, because this is something that will separate you from your competitors 100%. So number 3 is all about your customers. This is understanding every single thing about your customers, from the coffee that they drink, common behaviors that they have, pain points that they might have experienced in your industry, positive experiences that they've had in your industry. All of this information, all of this data is going to be super useful for when we move forward into, I think it's step 5, so stay tuned for that. You might be thinking to yourself, well, it's not like customers walk around with t-shirts telling us their pain points and all that kind of stuff. And it's true, they don't. However, we do have the internet at our disposal, and you can look at client testimonials from the competitors' websites. You can look at Google reviews, see if you can find pain points. You can look at Facebook groups. You can build focus groups. You can look at LinkedIn. You can grab as much information as humanly possible in order to understand your customers. It is right there. You do need to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, but once you've figured out pain points, stuff that they like, stuff that they don't like, you'll be in the position where you can start crafting an experience for customers, taking the good from the good and disregarding the bad and making it better. So start thinking about how you can create that experience for your customers. Number 4 is all about positioning your brand. What you're going to see now is a graph that we normally use to help startup businesses position themselves in the market. So you're going to want to be able to position yourself, and you're going to want to be able to position your competition as well. So make sure you have 3 competitors in mind that you can put into this graph. Roll the graph. So as you can see in this graph, we have a vertical, which is for quality, and a horizontal, which is for cost. What I want you to do is, from the now column of your table, put a cross where you think you are right now from a quality and cost perspective. Once you've done that, move along 6 months' time and have a little look at where you want to be. Do you want to increase your quality? Do you want to lower your costs? Have a little measure to see where you want to be, and then in 12 months' time, do the same again. And once you have that, draw a little line between the X's and maybe even make some points around how you're going to get to the next X. For argument's sake, it could be improving processes, it could be growing resources, it could be upgrading software, increasing sales. Whatever it might be, make those notes so you know yourself how you're meant to get to the next X. So I hope that graph was helpful. We use it quite a bit, and it does change. It will change because as you move forward, things change. So have a little look at it. If you want, it'd be great for you guys to post below a little thumbnail, a little photograph of what you've done with that chart, just so we can see it, just for professional curiosity, because we want to know that what we're given works. So yeah, just pop it below. I'd be more than happy to have a little look at it. So the fifth piece of this jigsaw puzzle is all about your comms and your assets. And I want you to remember 3 key words: communication, attraction, and placement. These are 3 crucial terms that you're going to need to remember when you're building a brand for your startup. So let's start with communication. All the data and everything that you've collected from understanding your customers needs to come down to copywriters and brand strategists for them to start creating your brand tone of voice. And this includes all your key messaging, any type of wording and general tone that you will use to communicate to your audience. And then after that, we start looking at the aesthetics. So this is the attraction side of things. And again, we take all of this information that you've curated from customers to competitors, and then we start creating the aesthetics for it. And we start making sure that you can look the part and we can attract the right people to your business. So that leads us on to the last thing of step 5, which is placement. It's super important for you guys to understand where your customers are, where they drink coffee, do they read the newspaper, what LinkedIn groups are they part of, what Facebook groups are they part of, what events do they attend, what do they do over a weekend, what activities are they involved in. Being able to really get into the customer's shoes gives you the unique ability to be able to put your assets in front of them. And putting your assets in front of them, saying the right thing and looking the right way is only going to be beneficial for your brand, because there'd be nothing worse than you doing all of this hard work, building a billboard, putting it out in the middle of the desert, only for your customers to be sat in a boardroom in the city. It'd be pointless, right? So that's pretty much it. That's everything you need to know about understanding a brand. Thank you very much again for listening. If you do have any comments or any questions at all, pop them down below. And also, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit notifications. Next week, we have an absolute belter. You might have heard us talk a little bit about value today. Next week, we are going to be focusing on how you can build values and actually build action behind the values, so you can build an audience that is going to get right behind your brand and drive you forward. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Stay tuned. Good luck, startups. Peace! How much would you control? If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuits, join up.